What's up, everyone? So today we are reading for Why Are You Lucky? Now, much like the last reading with Why Are You Intimidating, or What About You Intimidates Others, lucky is also a trait that seems to come up quite a bit in these readings. So this is another one that feels like it fits really well. At least from what I've seen so far. It'll be really, really interesting to see what comes out. Anyway, we're going to be doing 4 separate piles. So for pile number 1, that's going to be the Jack of Clubs. Oh, I'm sorry about the glare, guys. For pile number 2, that's going to be the Five of Hearts. For pile number 3, that's going to be the Seven of Hearts. And for pile number 4, we've got the Three of Spades. And for the collective, we've got the Five of Spades. So what makes you lucky, what I'm getting is 2 separate things. One, you guys are lucky in arguments. I wouldn't want to be the person who goes up against you in a debate, who goes up against you in any kind of like verbal altercation. You guys are very, very lucky in arguments. I get the sense that you are very well spoken and you manage to keep a rather cool head under extreme pressure, like an argument or like some kind of altercation between yourself and another person. And secondly, you seem to come out on top of really, really situations that look like they're lost already. Like you seem to be able to pull a situation or pull a lost cause into a winning spot out of nowhere. I'm sure I'm getting that there are different methods behind this. I'm really curious again to see what each of the piles holds for us. But overall, you guys are very, very lucky in arguments. And you guys are very, very lucky as far as you're lucky. I almost get that you're like a lucky break. When you get involved with situations, when you get involved with especially things that have kind of gone off the deep end, you manage to pull them back together. Very good leadership energy, very strong leadership energy. All right, and again, for pile number 1, we've got the Jack of Clubs. For pile number 2, we've got the Five of Diamonds. For pile number 3, we've got the Seven of Hearts. Oh, I'm sorry. For pile number 2, we've got the Five of Hearts. Not the Five of Diamonds, the Five of Hearts. For pile number 3, we've got the Seven of Hearts. And for pile number 4, we've got the Three of Spades. I'm going to run through those again. Sorry, guys, I messed that one up. Pile number 1 is the Jack of Clubs. Pile number 2 is the Five of Hearts. Pile number 3 is the Seven of Hearts. And pile number 4 is the Three of Spades. All right. So starting off with pile number 1 and the Jack of Clubs. I'm getting very strong ride into the challenge energy. You guys are very happy-go-lucky, or at least that's how things come off to other people. You may have been accused of not taking things seriously before. This is very strong energy of the collective that I was saying, that second part about how you're someone who like you bring the luck when you enter a room, or like you tend to pull a bad situation into a good place out of nowhere. You tend to be a lucky break for things and situations, basically. That kind of energy is already really strong with this pile specifically. The Knight of Clubs is indicative of the Knight of Wands, which is strong Sagittarius energy. Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter is it's a very lucky planet. It's a very lucky energy. There's very strong abundance energy, raw abundance energy that comes with Jupiterian energy. And so you are lucky, and that is like a sentence. You are lucky as far as other people can tell. And others really want to know how. Like, it almost seems like you're blessed. God's Favorite comes to mind. The song God's Favorite by Meg Stallion, that comes to mind specifically. You might have issues with haters. You might deal with a little bit of hating from other people, a little bit of jealousy. And I do also get the sense that you might be someone who has left a trail of broken hearts in your wake. You might be a little bit of a player. Not on purpose. I don't think on purpose. I'm getting the sense of someone who's really in love with love and in love with life, you know, very happy-go-lucky energy. Someone who it's really easy for you to stay casual in situations where other people are being really serious, or they're getting really, really caught up in stuff. And it's not really your fault. It's not really your fault, but I do get the sense that that kind of energy may come back to haunt you a little bit, especially in romantic relationships. Good friend energy. Yeah, the Ace of Wands. You're the friend that people go to for adventure. You're the friend that people go to when they're feeling stuck in a rut or feeling stuck in their life, right? People come to you for new ideas. They come to you for fresh outlooks. People really, really trust your point of view as far as progression goes. Like this is very progressive energy. You're very open-minded and you're very understanding. You like to learn about other people. You like to exchange, like cultural exchange might be something that you're really into. Learning about other cultures might be something that you're really into. Long distance pen pals, long distance communication, a lot of travel, that might be stuff that you're into. If that's the case, people really like hearing you talk about it. Part of what makes people think that you're lucky, or part of how you're lucky, is in your travels. You're someone who, you meet really great people when you're out traveling. You meet really great people when you're out and about. You might be someone even who, like, you feel more at home on the road and out in the world than you do in your actual home. Your actual home might feel a little bit suffocating for you. You're definitely someone who, like, living in your hometown, staying in the same 20 miles of space that you grew up in, probably sounds awful to you, probably sounds really caging to you. You're someone who likes to be free. The Ace of Wands also reiterates that energy of a little bit of a player, right? This is the energy of someone who, like, you it's really easy for you to start new sparks. You're a very attractive person, you're a very appealing person, you're a very charming person. It's very, very easy for you to become the center of not just the room, but the center of, like, someone's whole world, without you really realizing just how intense this relationship has turned out, and just how intense things are really getting behind the scenes, or even, like, in front of your very eyes. Again, I get the sense that you're someone who, it's really easy for you to keep things casual. It's really easy for you to keep things moving, regardless of the situation, even if we're not talking about romantic, right? But it's really easy for you to keep things open because you like freedom and you like being open. You don't hold other people down and you don't like being held down yourself, right? Um, you might be a self-employed person, or you might be someone who is aiming for self-employment. This is really strong, not necessarily do-it-yourself energy, but very strong self-motivated energy, very strong self-motivated energy. Jobs that allow you a lot of freedom. Yeah, we've got the Three of Wands and the Hierophant. Jobs that allow you a lot of freedom might be where you do best. The Three of Wands is all about moving forward, right? It's about forward progression. This specific Three of Wands is about the little prince taking care of his planet. Specifically, I think what it actually indicates is the last day that the little prince is on his planet, when he's taking care of everything and prepping himself to leave the planet for good. Again, you are someone who's really lucky in travel. You're very lucky in travel. You're very lucky in the sense that people feel like you're very lucky in the sense that you can go anywhere and still come back to a solid base, whether that's a literal solid base, like you have a very good family foundation, or a very good, like, found family foundation, or a literal base where you've set yourself up in a very solid situation where you don't have to be worried financially or materially if you're leaving and traveling on the regular, right? If that's not the case with you so far, trust that people think it's going to be the case with you eventually. The Hierophant is what's coming to mind actually is the Hierophant that I have from a different deck that's indicated by the bank. Hierophant is very, very Taurus energy. It's indicative of Taurus energy, Taurasian energy. This is very luxurious energy. You are someone who people assume that you're very, very well set up in life. And if that's not the case, you look like money. You present yourself very well. People assume that you are very lucky financially. If that's not the case for you, you hold yourself in a manner that people literally could not tell the difference, that you are someone who has any kind of financial struggle. So you hold yourself really, really well. And it makes people look up to you, especially the people who know that you, because I do get the sense that you put up a stronger front. I get the sense of someone who's still in the process of building their wealth and building their successes, you know what I mean? Like, I get the sense that you are still in the process. You're just someone who's very good at putting on a good face, putting on a clean image. You're someone who's very good at putting your best foot forward. And you have goals. You have goals in life. People really look up to you, especially the people who know that you are still in the process. You're not fully made yet. Like, people have a lot of respect for you. The people who know you personally, they have a lot of respect for you and a lot of respect for how you hold yourself and how you conduct yourself, especially professionally. I have a feeling that you're the kind of person who, like, when people know you personally, you're really different. Like, there would be people who, like, they feel really, really lucky to know you personally. They feel really, really fortunate to have the chance to be in your life on an intimate level, because you publicly and you personally are very different people. You're very good at controlling your public image, or it matters to you what your public image is. Like, you're someone who values how other people see you. It's not because it's how other people see you specifically, because how other people see you affects how other people treat you. You may have been someone who, especially as someone who travels regularly, especially as someone who, I get the sense that your happy-go-lucky personality may make people assume sometimes that you don't really know how life is, or how like life can be sometimes. Like, I do get the sense that you're someone who, like, I get the sense that you're someone who, you have faced the sting of people's judgment before. Like, you had to learn that life is a lot easier when you put your best foot forward, because people can be very judgmental and people can be very harsh in their judgment. Nobody knows what a person's been through. Like, it's one of the funniest things in the entire world to me when people talk to other people with these profound assumptions about them, as if they know anything about this person behind the scenes. Like, you're definitely one of those people who, to know you is to love you. Like, you only let the people who you really care about really in and really know you personally. And it probably helps you compartmentalize as someone who, I get the sense that you're someone who's regularly in the public eye. Like, a lot of you might work in communications, or you might work in a job where, like, customer relations or something like that, where you're, like, regularly dealing with other people. And it's almost necessary for you to have, like, a mental space where you have a work mode, because otherwise it would scramble, like, your personal life. I know a lot of people, in fact, like, okay, for example, I knew a really, really sweet girl whose husband worked in customer relations in an airport. He worked for an airline in their customer service area. For the first 6 months of his job, apparently, he had nightmares of people screaming at him. Like, she said that he would wake up in the middle of the night freaking out because of the stuff that people said to him at work, and the stuff that the screaming, the just overall verbal abuse that he had to face at work. Like, it took him months to really get used to the fact that, like, especially over the phone in high pressure situations, people refused to treat him like he was a human being. And in situations like that, really the only thing, that's how people develop customer service personas. That's how people develop that's the customer service voice, right? Like, there are some situations where life is a lot easier if you're capable of really taking a breath and putting yourself in the headspace that's necessary to deal with it. And I get the sense that you are someone who's capable of that, and it makes things that you do look really easy. It makes the things that you accomplish, it makes the way that you accomplish them look almost seamless. Like, it looks like you do all of this without a sweat. All right. What more can we know, please, about why you are lucky? How are you lucky? Yeah, I'm seeing horseshoes in my head even. I'm getting very, very standard traditional luck here. You might be someone who believes really, really straightforwardly in, like, in karma, basically, and good in, good out, like, in very straightforward. I don't want to say westernized, but that's kind of what I mean, the westernized sense of karma, where, like, you do a good thing comes back to you. You do a good thing, you rack up points in the good column, eventually good will come back to you. You do a bad thing, bad comes back to you. Like, very cosmic give and take energy here, right? I get the sense that you're someone who that kind of dichotomy might be really big in your life. Like, you might be someone who when you notice very specifically that when you do good, good things happen to you. When you do bad, bad things happen to you. It might have been, again, part of what's molded you into this very happy-go-lucky person, because you put good energy out into the world, good energy comes back to you. That's just kind of the dichotomy that you've been working with for a very long time. I found that there are people who this tends to be more true for than others. It is a very, very interesting... It's a very interesting situation, but it does result, the people who I've known to recognize that as a pattern in their life, they tend to be the happiest, kindest people in the entire world. All right, what about you is lucky? How are you lucky? What more can we know, please, about how you are lucky? All right, and we've got the Five of Wands. The Five of Wands mirrors that same Five of Spades energy that we got for the collective earlier, where I wouldn't want to debate you. You're someone who's very good with your words, and someone who, I have a feeling that the word that comes to mind is professionalism. I have a feeling that your ability to really control yourself in really harsh situations, this ability to continue to be a really happy-go-lucky, fun person, even in situations that are really, really intense, that it comes in handy in really intense altercations, when people are, like, losing their cool, when people are having a hard time controlling themselves, or, like, getting lost in the heat of the moment. You're someone who's really on top of yourself. You're someone who's really in control of your emotions, or at least that is how you come off. That's how people seem to think that's how people seem to recognize you, at least. And we've got the Knight of Wands, and the Knight of Wands again is indicative of the Jack of Clubs, which was your pile suit, or your pile card. This is just confirmation for everything that I had been saying as far as that Jupiterian energy goes. You are there's something very standard, happy-go-lucky about you, and people rely on you for that kind of luck too. I have a sense that you kind of operate as, like, the heart of your groups of friends, or the heart of your family, when you tend to, or the heart of any group that you tend to be in, basically. Like, people probably look to you for, if not necessarily guidance, for emotional support. Like, people would be really off put if in a bad situation, or if in a really intense situation, you were suddenly feeling like things were hopeless. Like, people rely on you to have faith that there is hope. People rely on you to have faith that there is positive things coming. And we've got the Page of Cups. Yeah, the Page of Cups is all about, like, the Page of Cups is about hope. The Page of Cups is a very, an almost childish energy of, like, good faith, right? And hope that good things are coming, and faith that there's still miracles that can come. In the traditional Rider-Waite Page of Cups, he's holding a goblet with a fish coming out of it with a pearl in his mouth, like literally a fairy tale miracle, right? People rely on you to have that kind of energy, to keep up that kind of energy, to keep up that kind of good faith and good sport. Between the Knight of Wands and the Page of Cups, especially the Page of Cups here with all of the alcohol, like he's literally drinking, right? Almost in celebration. People rely on you to keep up the good energy even in bad situations. It feels honestly like something that can be very, very heavy. This is the kind of energy that can be very, very overwhelming. It's complimentary that people feel that way about you, but also again, it can be a lot to be the person that people expect to always be happy and to always be on top of like their emotions. Like, everyone needs a second to like really take to themselves, to like grieve and process things, process the bad emotions, right? The way that the Page of Cups eyes is closed here, the way that the Knight of Wands has his helmet down over his head here, there is the sense that like you process those things. And I was saying that early in your reading, I believe. You process those things very privately. You're a very private person. Part of what makes you lucky, I think, is that you aren't caught off guard very often. You are lucky in the fact that you get to process these things privately. You are lucky in the fact that you get to keep this very, very public image going. And it feels almost weird calling that luck, because at the end of the day, what that is talent, right? What that is a very, very strict ability to control yourself. It's talent. It takes effort. It takes effort to be someone who's capable of keeping up a positive, happy, fun face all the time in the face of some really, really intense stuff. And we've got the Emperor. Yeah, someone who's going to continue moving forward. Between the Emperor and the Knight of Wands, there's a lot of fire energy here. Again, people trust you or rely on you to keep that energy going, to keep that happiness up, to keep that sunshine going. People look to you in dark nights. And they trust you to be lucky the same way that they trust the sun to rise. Like, people do really see you as kind of like a stroke of luck when you enter a room. People really do see you as someone who will pull a lucky break out of yourself, out of nothing, in the last quarter, right? In the ninth inning. And we've got the Ten of Swords at the very end, exactly. And the Ten of Swords capping your 5 line here even. People trust you to be able to bring back things almost from the dead. Like, people trust you to be able to resurrect bad situations that everyone else has given up hope on. In this Ten of Swords, the prince and the fox are on a planet that has been overtaken by baobabs, but they haven't abandoned it yet. That is the sunrise, the silver lining in this specific Ten of Swords card. They haven't abandoned the planet yet. People trust you to be someone who doesn't abandon hope when all else seems to fail. And honestly, that reflects on you as a person towards other people too. People are comforted by the idea, especially the people who care about you, the people who you care about. They're comforted by the idea that you wouldn't abandon them just because they are in a bad way. You wouldn't give up on them just because they aren't doing well in that particular moment. They trust you to be there for them. And the Ace of Cups, yeah, they trust you to have a big heart. They trust you to be there for them, regardless of the fact that things might be looking down. It might not be all sunshine and rainbows in that exact moment. People trust you to be willing to go through the hard times. People trust you to be willing to give from your own cup to theirs, to refill them and re-energize them. And in a way, people find you to be lucky because that ability to persevere, even when it seems that your cup should be empty, it seems almost mythical. It seems like something that you were given. Yeah, the child card, it seems like something that you were born with almost. Like it can't possibly have been something that you just developed. With the Page of Cups at the middle of your spread, I also get that you're, and I think I mentioned this earlier with the Jack of Clubs energy, you are very lucky in your outings. People find you to be someone who you are, fun tends to follow you. People think that fun tends to follow you. You're someone who, like, you tend to be the life of the party when you show up. You tend to be where the party is, where you go. Like, you are a very, very, you're the life of the party. You are the spotlight when you show up and when you go places. People might say that, like, the party follows you. If you were to go party hopping, there would be people who would want to go with you because the party follows you where you go. I'm so sorry about this lighting. I swear that I'm going to change it, like, right after this part of the reading. And we've got the Soldier. And the Soldier matches both the Knight of Wands energy and the Emperor energy. You're someone who can't be deterred. You can't be put down. You can't be made to feel lesser than. And if you have your mind set on something, if you have your eyes set on something, you won't give up until you feel like it's time to give up. There's no convincing you to let go of it. There's no getting in your way. Like, you're not letting go until you feel like it's time to let go. All right. And what more can we know, please, about how you are lucky? How are you lucky? And we've got consolation. And notice the angel coming to give him something, even though presumably he has lost, right? Even though he hasn't actually gotten what he was looking for. Again, you're someone who, you come in the midst of a loss. You come when all hope seems gone. You come when everything seems like it's been lost. And you bring light with you. You bring hope with you. You're someone who brings a lot of hope with you when you enter a room. Whether you mean to be that way or not, it just comes naturally with the amount of energy that you bring. It comes naturally with the type of energy that you bring into a room. And we've got the Merchant. That's pretty straightforward. People think that you're lucky in business. And that would make sense. I'm getting almost like a business shark, like someone who, you don't give up on your business. It's hard to deter you. You don't give up on what you're aiming for. You don't give up on what you're working for. It's very, very hard to deter you in any situation. And it makes you a good business person. It makes you someone who other people don't want to compete with in a business aspect, because they know that you'll come out with new ideas. They know that you'll come out from new angles. They know that you aren't someone who gives up. You're not finished till you're finished. And we've got love. And the Knight of Wands is also a very, I mentioned this, right? In romance, you can be a little bit of a player. This is very straightforward. You're very lucky in meeting romantic partners. You are very charming. You're very attractive. You're very energetic and bright. You're the center of attention when you enter a room. Like, it's not hard for you to pull. It's not difficult for you to pull attention. It's not difficult for you to pull anyone or anything that you're trying to pull in the moment. I wouldn't want to be someone who's going up against you for a romantic partner, basically. No one wants to be the person who's going up against you for a romantic partner. And Death. And the Death card, especially lining up with the Ten of Swords energy here, it doubles down on the fact that when people think that all hope is lost, when people think that there's nothing left, you come in and you tend to reverse that. Kind of like the Grim Reaper both giving and taking life, right? Because the Grim Reaper avoiding something or choosing not to take something is the same thing as the Grim Reaper granting life. You are someone who people very much trust to revive situations. You're someone who people People might look for you in bad situations when they know that all hope feels lost, because they trust you to have some kind of angle or some kind of way out of it. And we've got the Servant at the bottom of the deck. And ultimately, they know that you'll help. People really, really believe that you'll help. People really, really believe in your kind-heartedness and in your passion to actually help people, in your big heart, in that Ace of Cups big heart. Under all of this bright, hopeful energy, it comes from a deep, profound place of love. And people honestly feel lucky to be in that love. When you love people, people feel lucky to have your love. It's just a side note. People feel very lucky to be loved and cared for by you. It's a very lovely message to end it on. And that is what I've got for you, loves. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I'm sorry about the horrible lighting. I will do better next time. I'm dealing with the sun setting at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We've got like 7 days left, and that's going to start going up again instead of down. Thank you for being with me here today. I hope it was fun. I hope it was entertaining and enlightening. I will see you next time. Bye. Alright, and we are on pile number 2 with the 5 of Hearts. So already what I'm getting, and it's interesting because I ended the last pile on a message like this, people feel really lucky to know you. I know this is a reading about how you are lucky, but I get the feeling that people feel really lucky to know you, very specifically because you're someone who's very good at looking on the bright side of things. Like, you are someone who people might come to you for consolation a lot. Like, people might come to you looking for comfort a whole lot in, like, bad situations. You're definitely someone who the people around you feel really lucky to be cared for by you, because you have a very big heart and you really care for the people who you care about. The inverse of that, obviously, being that you are lucky because you're someone who's capable of looking on the bright side of things. You're very lucky in that it's hard to get you down. It's very, very difficult to get you down. It's very, very hard to kill your vibe. It's very, very hard to kill your passion. Alright, what more can we know, please, about how you are lucky? Okay. Alright, so both the Ace of Wands and the Magician are popping out together already. You are a manifester. You're definitely someone who, and the Eight of Pentacles is right under that, followed by the Five of Pentacles, the Six of Cups, and the Ten of Swords. Usually I wouldn't read all the cards out like that, but I keep seeing them and needing to read them immediately. The Ace of Pentacles and the Magician coming out, and they did pop out together. The Ace of Pentacles was, or not the Ace of Pentacles, the Ace of Wands very specifically popped out separately from the stack of cards that popped out under the Magician. These two together indicate the fact that you are a very strong manifester. If you're someone who's open about spirituality, if you are especially someone who's open about magic or mystical practices, people feel like you are very lucky in that. Like, you might be someone who has made people double think their belief systems before, because there's just no denying your outcome. There's no denying your progress. What's coming to mind here, especially with the Ace of Pentacles, I keep saying Ace of Pentacles, and the Ace of Pentacles is the physical manifestation card. People find you to be, like, actually lucky in your manifestations. If you tell people that you're trying to manifest something, it's likely that you actually end up manifesting the thing, and people's jaw drop. Like, they can't understand how you actually managed to pull this kind of thing off. I'm getting miracle vibes. I'm getting the sense that, like, people genuinely think they've seen you pull off miracles. And the funny thing is, with this card, the Eight of Pentacles, what comes to mind too is the Sibila card of the Scholar. It isn't just luck. You're a very hard worker. And again, that's part of what this manifestation energy comes from. I get the feeling that you are a manifester. Like, you know what you're doing. You're not just like putting out thoughts into the wind, right? You are a manifester. You do know what you're doing. You have studied the kind of things that you're into. You have studied what you're looking into. The Eight of Pentacles is all about hard work, and it's all about putting the work into getting better. It can almost mean perfectionism. People find the work that you do to be you're very lucky in your talents. People find that you may have been someone who's been accused of, or not necessarily accused of, it doesn't have to be a bad thing, but you might be someone who's been told before that you're just very naturally gifted or naturally blessed. And it comes with being someone who also works very hard at what you do. Like, you put in the time and effort to actually harness the blessings that you were given in your life, and you put in the time and effort to actually mold the gifts that you were given to make them into something even better, even brighter. The Five of Pentacles here, and the Five of Pentacles is what I kept calling the card for your pile name. Even at the beginning of this, I kept screwing that up. There's strong pentacle energy here, and pentacles are all about physical manifestations. They're all about the material world, right? You are very, very good at bringing your physical manifestations to life. And I get the feeling that with the Five of Pentacles, what's being called to mind here most specifically is that when your back is pressed against the wall is when your manifestations seem to work even better, and even in overtime. Basically, your manifestations tend to come in even quicker. They tend to come in even pure, even more specifically when your back is pressed against a wall, when you're in a bad situation. Again, this links back to what I was saying initially when your pile started with the silver linings. Like, you are someone who people trust for comfort, and for people, you're someone who people trust for comfort. You're someone who people trust to be there for them in bad situations. And part of that trust comes from the fact that you tend to be really great in bad situations. You tend to be someone who works really well in negative situations. You shine when your back is pressed against the wall. The 5 to the 6, even when you're in a bad situation, when you're in a lacking situation, you tend to progress even quicker. You tend to go from your 5 to your 6 even quicker. And notice how the 5 of Pentacles is about someone reaching out to you to help you, and the 6 of Cups is about someone being offered something. Like, people find you to be lucky in the people that you know too. Like, you might be someone who has a really great support system. If not in your actual family, I'm getting found family vibes. I'm definitely getting found family vibes. People find you to be very lucky in the support system that you have around you, and in the actual people that you have around you. And there are definitely people who think that you're lucky in what you are offered by these people as well. The Six of Cups is also it's nostalgic energy. There's something very nostalgic about the Six of Cups, right? People find you to be lucky in the fact that it seems like your dreams come true. Like, especially if you know people from your childhood, especially if you've known people for like a really long time, you still have people from like your formative years in your life. These are likely people who have seen you, that might be part of the miracles that they've seen you pull off. You might be someone who has said out loud with your full chest, I'm gonna do this thing. And people around you have been like, no, you're not. That doesn't even make any sense. No, the fuck you're not. Like, genuinely, like, people just did not believe you. They did not think that you had it in you. And you put those thoughts to rest. You ended those doubts. People find you to be very lucky in the fact that you can pull off miracles. And people do very much believe that you can pull off miracles. People feel like they've seen you pull something out of absolutely nothing. And I'm getting the sense that there are definitely people, yeah, the Lovers, the Empress, and the Page of Swords. So there are definitely people already who they're curious about how you do it. There are definitely people in your life who are curious as to what kind of forces you could possibly have on your side to be helping you pull off the situations that you pull off sometimes and pull out the miracles that you pull out sometimes. Now, between the Lovers and the Empress card, you are very, very lucky in your appearance. People find you to be very lucky in the fact that you are a very attractive person, and not just attractive, but attractive. You attract a lot of people. You're not someone who hurts for attention. You're not someone who hurts for especially romantic attention. People find you to be very, very, very lucky in how you People find you to be very, very lucky in how you draw romantic attention to you. You are not someone who is hurting for that kind of attention at all. And if you don't realize that, if you are someone who your DMs are very dry, the Page of Swords is indicative of people spying on you, like people watching you from afar, especially on social media. There's definitely this sense here that you have people watching you on social media, especially. People are especially very interested in what you've got going on. And that always, for me, especially with the Six of Cups coming up in your reading as well, it's indicative of the fact that there are people from your past who are still keeping tabs on you. People who are no longer involved in your life or very present in your life. And honestly, I don't get the sense that for all of you, these are negative. For some of you, these are people that you did cut out of your life, probably a long time ago, probably to a point where like you no longer hold super strong emotions towards them because there's no point. It's been that long ago. But some of you, these are people that you just like grew out of, like people who you didn't have any sort of very profound ending with. You just kind of grew out of them. You might not have grown out of them in like the best way possible or the nicest way possible, but you guys like grew apart. It wasn't some big problem or big deal. Yeah, the King of Pentacles energy. And the King of Pentacles and the Empress, those are both Taurasian energies, right? Like you grew into something a lot luxurious. The word luxurious comes to mind. You grew into something a lot more higher class. You look like you're going places. You look like you're going places, and there are definitely people who you have grown out of in your life who are very curious as to where you're going and what you're doing. There are definitely people in your life who you have there are definitely people in your life who you have left behind who are still thinking about you. Yeah, the Six of Pentacles, the way that he's staring at the pilot while the pilot draws and is focusing on doing his own thing. Like, there are definitely people who you've left behind who are still very curious as to what you've got going on. And these people specifically, they feel that you are so lucky. Like, and I do get just raw lucky. The people who you left behind, they feel like, and I think for some of them, it makes them feel better to assume that it's luck, because especially if you got away from the exact same situations as the people that you knew, I have a hard time believing it was just a luck. I have a very hard time believing it wasn't a whole lot of work as well, especially if we're going off of the fact that apparently you work best with your back pressed up against a wall. Like, there's a sense here that you went through something very profound, you went through something very dramatic, and it took you away from these people. But it wasn't something that was like, you didn't win the lottery, and that's not why you got taken away from these people, right? It was something that you had to grow through. It was something that you had to learn through. And for a lot of these people, I think it makes them feel better to just write it off as luck that separated you from them, so they don't have to come to terms with the fact that like they could be standing next to you right now if they had been supportive when you needed them to be supportive. Unfortunately, you grew out of them because you had to learn how to support yourself. All right, what more can we know, please, about why you are lucky? How are you lucky? You have exes who are thinking about you right now. Whether that's romantic or not, there are definitely people from your past life who are thinking about you pretty heavily right now. That energy is pretty wildly heavy in this reading right now. And the Eight of Pentacles, but you're working on yourself and you're working on your own thing. Part of how you're lucky is the fact that you are, if you were gifted with anything, I'd say it was probably you were gifted with the ability to focus on what you need to focus on despite the tumultuous situation surrounding you. That's probably part of why you work so well with your back pressed up against the wall. It's not necessarily that you work better under stress, it's that everything else is so upturned and upheaved that your focus and your ability to work despite situations going on around you really shines in those situations. Like, you work the same way in perfect situations and in terrible situations. And of course, in perfect situations, that ability to like really focus and really hone in on things, it doesn't really come out. It doesn't shine the way that it does in like horrible situations, right? You're someone who people view as very lucky. You have the gift of focus. You have the gift of discernment. You're capable of hyper focusing on what you need to focus on to continue to make it through to where you need to get to. And the Lovers. Yeah, and the Lovers is about choices. The Lovers traditionally is very much about choices. You're good at making the right choice. You're good at making, you have very good discernment. People find it to be, it feels almost like luck. It feels like you are just making any kind of choice. You're just kind of pulling these choices out of nowhere. You're just going with the flow of whatever you feel. It feels like luck. At the end of the day, you are very, very good with your discernment. You are incredibly good with the kind of discernment that you have. This is also doubling down. Both of these cards have already popped out for you as well. This is doubling down on the fact that you're very, very consistent in what you do as well. That's part of how your work is so good. It's part of how you have, it's part of why you have so much talent in the actual work and skills that you put out, because you're very, very consistent in what you do and you don't let yourself be distracted. The Lovers card coming out again, however, does double down on the fact that you're very lucky in romance. You're not you're not someone who hurts for attention romantically. When you are someone who wants to take a break from your hyper focus, you've got romantic options. And the Sun, you are someone very, very bright. You're someone, what comes to mind is exactly what we were talking about in the beginning, where you are someone who people look to for comfort. In The Little Prince, the book, the little prince looks at sunsets when he is feeling sad or depressed. He mentions that he really likes to look at sunsets to make himself feel better. You're someone who people go to and flock to for comfort, for warmth on a cold night, right? People feel very lucky to be within your inner circle, and people find you to be a very lucky person in how you view life. You know what I mean? Like, it's very hard to put into words, but people find the way, your point of view, to be very lucky. Like, you're lucky to be able to hold the kind of point of view that you hold. Despite everything that you've been through, you're very lucky to still be able to have this very positive, kind, abundant outlook on life and outlook on the things in front of you. The Empress card coming out for you again. And the Empress, the Lovers, and the Sun cards, these are all strong, abundant manifestation energies. Again, you have very strong manifestation energy. You're very, very lucky in how you manifest. And part of that is that you put in the work. Part of that is that you're willing to put in the work. You're willing to make the right choices. You're willing to, she's in a garden. I'm getting almost secret garden energy. You're willing to tend your garden so the right things can grow. You're very lucky in the seeds that come to your garden because you tend it correctly. The right things grow in your plot. The right things grow in your garden. You end up getting very, very wonderful, bountiful harvests because you take care of yourself and you take care of the area that you're in, both metaphorically and literally. The Empress and the Lovers also reconfirming again, you are lucky in love. People find you to be very, very appealing. You have secret admirers for sure. That Page of Swords coming out earlier also reconfirms that you have secret admirers for sure. For some of you, these secret admirers are exes that have never gotten over you. Whether that's a good thing or not. For some of you, these secret admirers are definitely exes who never got over you. Um, However, I'm getting that for a lot of you, they're also new people. They're also just people who are like coming out of the woodworks. You shine. The sun at the very center of this 5 card line, you shine. You're very, very stunning and magnetic in this very moment. And I get the sense that you're very stunning and magnetic in every moment, but there's something about right now. Right now in this very moment, you are just stunning. You are glowing. You are definitely magnetizing people towards you right now. I'm currently in the holiday season. This reading is timeless, but I am weeks away from Christmas and the New Year. Sometime within the next couple weeks, whenever this reading comes out, or whenever this reading reaches you, sometime within the next couple weeks, be prepared for confirmation of the fact that you have secret admirers, you have people who are watching you, and you have people who look at you for motivation specifically is what I'm getting. Even like there are people who look at you as as almost a muse. You motivate people to move through life in very, very profound, impactful ways. There are people who look to you for support in ways that you don't even realize. The Queen of Pentacles. Yeah, there are people who look to you for support and care in ways that you don't even realize. With the Queen of Pentacles and the Empress here, there are definitely people, there are people who would love to be taken care of by you. There are definitely people who would really love for you to take care of them. I'm getting that you're lucky in your home life. If not necessarily with like the people in your home life, you are lucky in your ability to keep a home. Like you might be someone who's very good at cooking. You might be someone who's very talented at cleaning, just very, very homemaker, crochet, knitting, those kinds of things. Like I am getting the sense that you are lucky in keeping a bountiful, comfortable home. And the 3 of Swords at the bottom of the deck. And that kind of wraps back around to the 5 of Hearts energy. People really trust you to be able to comfort them. People find you to be very lucky. And it's funny because it keeps swapping forth between people find themselves to be lucky and people find you to be lucky. You're very lucky in what you say and that you always have the right thing to say. And that I do get is kind of like a natural gift. I do get the sense that you are just kind of naturally gifted in knowing what to say. You know what people need to hear in the moments that they need to hear them, basically. You're very, very good at comforting people. You're lucky in how you manage people. You're very lucky in how you read people. You're very, very good with people, with other people. Even when you're alone, even when you are, because I do get the sense that you spend a lot of time focused on yourself with this 8 of Pentacles energy. If not necessarily focused on yourself, focused on like what you're doing, what you're putting out. You know what I mean? Despite that, people really do. There are a lot of people who look to you for emotional support and emotional stability. You could be someone who's very open about your own emotional troubles. You might be someone who's like, as someone who works best with your back pressed against a wall, you might be someone who's been very open about the fact that life hasn't been the easiest for you. You've been through a lot in your lifetime. And people look to you, they look to your story, they look to what you've been through as hope. You represent a beacon of hope for a lot of people. People look at your story and they look to how you have managed to continue to move through life, and they take a lot of hope in that. The Queen of Pentacles is indicative of Capricorn energy. Capricorn energy is long-standing Saturn energy, right? And Saturn is, if Jupiter energy is about luck, Saturn energy is about long tests and lessons, right? Like, you are someone who has been through it and come out better on the other side. And that story, that has it inspires people. It makes people feel the child. It also makes people feel very, very immature next to you. There's something very intimidating about this energy. People have a difficult time. People look up to you in a way that makes them feel almost childish. That's what I was getting at earlier with the Empress and the Capricorn, the Empress and the Queen of Pentacles energy, stating that like people want to be taken care of by you. There's a sense that people feel almost childish around you. People feel like they are immature next to you and next to everything that you've been through and everything that you've done. Yeah, the Rim card coming out. People think about you. People definitely think about you in their quiet moments. And I say that, and I do mean in an intimate way, but I also mean just in general. Like, there are people in your life who, when they hit stone walls, when they hit like a brick wall in their face, they really do think of you and they think, what would this person do? How would this person handle the situation? How would this person I care about and I respect a ton handle the situation right now? Like, there are people in your life who genuinely feel that way about you and genuinely think that way about you. What more can we know, please, about how you are lucky? You might be someone who's lucky in gambling. That's just coming to mind. I just saw a pair of dice in my head. You might be someone who's lucky in gambling, but the dice I saw in my head were fuzzy dice in a car mirror. You also might be someone who's very lucky in your driving. You might be someone who has stories of narrowly missing very intense car accidents or being in very serious car situations that should have been a whole lot worse and somehow came out miraculously much better than they were supposed to. Like, you might be someone who is very unorthodox luck around cars, basically. Because there's nothing lucky about almost being in a car crash, but there's something lucky about not being in a car crash. You know what I mean? Like, unorthodox luck around cars. And straightforward luck in gambling. What more can we know, please, about why and how you are lucky? All right. So we've got the Doctor. Now, I'm not getting that you are necessarily, you know what? The problems that you may have faced may have been health related for some of you. That is what I'm getting specifically. I'm not getting necessarily that you are super healthy or super lucky in your health straightforward style, like you're just a very, very healthy specimen. I'm getting the fact that a lot of you may have had health problems before, or some form of, maybe not even physical health problems, but like mental health problems. I'm getting the fact that some of you may have had some very serious health problems before that you have had to work through and that you've had to find assistance to get through, especially. Um, the Doctor card coming out very specifically points to being lucky in the help that you find. People find you to be very lucky in the kind of help that you find in the situations that you need them. You're someone who you find the right bit of help exactly when you need it, basically. The Doctor is a great example of that. You might be someone who, instead of having to go, as an example, I know people who have had to go through tons of therapists because at the end of the day, you need someone compatible with you for that kind of work, right? And if you're fortunate enough to be able to go through therapists like that, then you should go through therapists until you find someone who can support you, someone who you find to be supportive, someone who understands you. You should put in that kind of effort because you'll get the best results that way. You might be someone who doesn't have to put in that extra effort. You find the person immediately, you find someone who you click with right away, so you don't have to spend months or years looking for someone who can really help you in the situations that you need help in. And we've got foe. Yeah, and I feel like those two things go together. Again, there's definitely the sense here that you had something that you had to overcome. It's not just that you have had good luck in your life, it's that you've had very unorthodox good luck in your life. You have had to overcome things. That's how you've gotten so good at being someone who comforts other people. It's how you've gotten to be such an understanding person in your life, right? Because you have had to overcome things. And the foe is about very open things. The foe is not the enemy who hides. The foe is someone or something that's very out in the open. Again, there's this feeling that you went through stuff very publicly, and that's part of why people really look up to you and people see you as a kind of beacon of hope. And we've got thought. You're very, very intelligent. You're definitely very intelligent. People find you to be very, and I'm getting the word blessed here too. People find you to be very blessed in your actual intelligence and your actual thought processes. People think that you are very, very intelligent. You come off as a very, very intelligent human being. And you're very good at articulating yourself. You're very good at articulating yourself as well. People find you to be very lucky in both how you think and how you're capable of speaking. And we've got prison. And I'm getting very, when I get prison, I'm getting very will set you free energy. Again, there's something very inverse about all of this. You're someone who's been through a lot in your lifetime, and what makes you lucky is the fact that you've managed to get out of it and come out on the other side. There was something in your life that happened, something that was very, very heavy, something that trapped you, something that left you feeling trapped, and you managed to get free of it. You managed to find your way out. People find your story to be one of profound inspiration, one that a lot of people feel has to involve at least a little bit of luck. Because I am getting the sense that, especially if it was some kind of disease, right? This isn't something that was like super, super specific just to you. Everyone has their specific situations, but this is something that like the generals of it have happened to other people. But you managed to get out of it, and people find that to be inspiring. That's where the inspiration comes from. The fact that something bad happened to you that is very relatable, and you still managed to find your way out on the other side. And we've got melancholy. Yeah, melancholy coming around just to wrap it all up again. At the end of the day, people find you to be very lucky in a way that a lot of people wouldn't see immediately as being lucky. Again, and I mentioned this at the very beginning of your reading, a lot of what the luck in this reading has been is the fact that a lot of people feel very lucky to know you. A lot of people feel very lucky to have known you. A lot of people feel very lucky to know about your story. There's a whole lot of luck that surrounds you in a very, very unorthodox way. And it gives off the kind of glow that the sun gives off. It's part of why people love being in your radius. All right, loves, that is what I've got for you today. I hope it was fun. I hope it was enlightening. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I will see you next time. Bye. All right, and we are on pile number 3 with the 7 of Hearts. So already what I'm getting is people think that you're lucky in the options that you have. Whether you were born into a situation where you just kind of have more options than other people is what they feel like, or you've managed to get yourself into a situation in your life where you seem to have a lot of options available to you. You seem to be someone who is very lucky in the options that you have. Getting very road wide open. You're someone who it appears that you have a lot of different possible futures for yourself, basically. Your future isn't set in stone. There's a really great sense of freedom that comes with this. I hope it's as freeing as it feels. All right. What more can we know, please, about how you are lucky? I'm getting the sense that you're someone too that can take like a half-baked idea and turn it into gold. Like you're someone who can take like a generalized idea and really actually flesh it out and turn it into a reality. You're someone who can, yeah, the 4 of Swords. You're someone who can turn your dreams into reality. Like you're someone who can actually, the fox is sleeping in this picture. Like you're someone who can actually turn your dreams into a reality. The 7 of Cups. The 7 of Cups is indicative of the 7 of Hearts. Definitely strong. You're lucky in the options that you have. You're lucky. And I do get the feeling the 7 of Cups is indicative of choices that aren't fully fleshed out yet. Again, you are someone who you're very lucky in the fact that you can turn the outlines of something into like a fully fleshed out idea and a fully fleshed out thing. If someone brings you the bones of an idea, you can turn it into something real. You can make it a reality. strong artist vibes. People feel like you are very lucky in your creative streaks. You've been very gifted. You've been very gifted creatively. People think that you are a very, very naturally creative human being. What more can we know, please, about how you are lucky? All right, and the Page of Swords. Now, the Page of Swords is a social media card. There are two messages coming through here. One, you are you're a lot more popular on social media than you think, I think. And it connects to the second message. There are definitely people who are watching you on social media that you are unaware of. You are a whole lot more popular you're a whole lot more popular in general than you think you are. Like, if you're someone who's regularly out and about in your neighborhood, if you're someone who's regularly out and about in the world, like you have a routine where you go to specific places, you're someone who people watch for. People like actually look out to see you. People actively try to see if they can catch glimpses of you. Like, you're someone who people really like seeing. And people who know that, they find you to be very lucky. The attention that you attract, the people who can see the attention that you're attracting, it might attract jealousy as well. Like, there are definitely people who find you to be very lucky in the attention that you attract to yourself. There are people who are maybe a little bit jealous of the attention that you manage to attract to yourself. All right, what more can we know, please, about how you are lucky? There are definitely people who want to speak to you. Yeah. Right when I said that, the Queen of Pentacles popped out. The Queen of Pentacles is indicative of Capricorn energy. This is someone who is a very hard worker and someone who has very long-term goals. Someone who's very capable of seeing the big picture and someone who's very willing to work towards that big picture as far as their efforts go. It popped out right when I was saying that there are people who want to talk to you, if that's a hint as to who is in the woodworks waiting to speak to you. There are definitely people who want to speak to you. It's not just people who have been watching your social media. It's not just people who have been keeping an eye out for you. There are definitely people who would like to open communication with you. Both old and new, I'm getting more than one person. I'm getting that you're someone who you're a lot more popular than you realize right now. Whether that's because you have been, and with the seven of hearts, 7 of cups energy, I do get the sense that you've been really focused on your own thing right now. You have your own choices and your own focuses coming up. You've got your own forks in the road that you're contemplating, right? So like, you might not have the time to notice it, but you're definitely a lot more popular than you realize right now. I'm even getting that some of you might expect like a grand gesture of some sort. There's definitely someone who wants your attention. There's for sure somebody who wants your attention and someone who might not be happy that you've been so focused on other things lately. Expect some kind of grand gesture. I'm sitting right outside of the holiday season, like literally weeks away from Christmas right now, if it's still weeks and not like a week. But this reading is timeless, but with the holiday season right there, sometime within the next couple weeks, regardless of when you get this reading, do expect some kind of thing to come up. I'm getting like a big sitcom event almost, like the big moment that someone shows you that they care about you, basically. At the very least, there are people who really want to do something big for you, people who really want to do something big and bold to get your attention. What more can we know, please, about how you are lucky? All right, and we've got the Hermit. Yeah, you've definitely been focusing on your own thing lately. You've definitely been focusing on your own thing lately. And people have been focusing on you. Notice how the Hermit here is staring through a telescope up at the stars. I'm getting two separate messages from that. One, obviously, is your focus being set far away. Your focus being on something out of this world right now. But I'm also getting the sense that you are the star. Like, there are people who are hyper focusing on you with the Hermit and the Page of Swords coming out right there. Like, I'm also getting the sense that there are people who are hyper focusing on you right now. The Star card. Yeah, there are people who are hyper focusing on you right now. And these people I'm getting, there are a lot of people. Again, you are a whole lot more popular right now than you realize. You might have been sensing this, even like if you've been feeling really bogged down and you don't know why. And I mean bogged down as in like if you've been feeling like extra tired lately and there's no real reason for it, if you've been having a lot of trouble sleeping, if you've been having like really, really bad intrusive thoughts, not necessarily bad as in like violent or anything like that, but just like reoccurring, very intense, intrusive thoughts, I would cleanse both yourself and your area. There are a lot of energies on you right now. There's a lot of focus on you right now. Regardless of the why, regardless of the how, there's just a lot of focus on you right now. So if that has been bogging you down, if that has been getting to you, I would cleanse yourself in your area. Just to be safe. You know what I mean? But these two coming out here, these three, all of these are watch cards. Like all of these are watch cards with how they are in this deck. You are the center of attention right now, and some of these people are really, really focused on you because they want your attention. They're trying to figure out how to get your attention. And some of these people are focused on you because there's a little bit of a jealousy thing going on. I am sensing a tad bit of jealousy going on here. Um, I get the sense that this could be a thing. The people who are hyper focusing on you, the people in their lives, they think that you are so lucky for the attention that you're getting. That's why this is coming into this reading so strongly, because these people feel that you are so lucky for the attention that you're getting naturally from these people who are hyper fixated on you. These people have other people in their lives who want their attention, and they cannot get it because all of this attention is focused on you, someone who is not even glancing towards anyone else's direction. It's it can feel a little bit hopeless for these people, I think. I think that's why there are people who are fantasizing about doing like some big bold thing to get your attention, especially people who have been cut out of your life or people who are no longer really involved in your life. Like I think especially them, they have these fantasies of coming back and like doing something big and bold and getting back into your life. And it's making other people in their lives very jealous of you, very jealous of the luck they feel you have to have all of this attention on you. It's definitely a whole lot of focus on you right now. The Death card, yeah, and that's the third major arcana to come out of the four that we've pulled so far. And it's another card that in this deck is indicative of stars. Um, you you are drawing so much attention to you right now, and there are people who are this is coming up because all of these people find you to be very lucky. The people who are interested in you because they want your attention back, they also think that you're lucky, and that's because they're obsessed with you. Like, and the word obsessed feels kind of heavy, but like that's what this energy is. This energy is these people who are so obsessed with your energy, and so obsessed with getting into your life and back into your life for some of these people. You know what I mean? Like, the death card is Scorpio energy. This is very strong, like magnetized energy. This can be very strong obsessive energy, this obsessive pull energy, right? Like, you are just attracting so much and so many people right now. I feel the need to remind you that, like, if you've been having trouble sleeping, if you've been having trouble, I'm getting even eating, I would cleanse. I would cleanse yourself, I would cleanse your area. There's just a whole lot of focus on you right now, and it's because a lot of people are seeing you as almost this life-altering thing. Again, there are people who you don't know, people who have just been very focused on you, who feel like knowing you and getting to know you would change their lives, would be a life-altering thing for them, would be a transformative experience for them. And then there are people who were in your life who would do anything to transform their situation back to being in your life. Like, leaving your life or being cut out of your life for a lot of these people was a little bit of a death experience. It was a very significant experience for them. Even for some of the people who were not, like, it wasn't like a big falling out, you guys just kind of grew apart. Like, I feel like there are people from your past who you don't even realize how much it hurts them now that you're no longer involved in their life. It would probably surprise you how much it hurts them now that you are no longer involved in their life. Again, there are definitely people who think that you are so, it has to be luck that draws all of these people towards you. Like, you are so lucky in the amount of attention and the amount of focus that you get. And we've got the Page of Cups with his eyes closed at the very end of your 5-card line. You are not focused on these people at all, and frankly, it's because these people are, they're not on your level anymore. The first and last cards of this spread, and the only ones that are not major arcana cards, are the 2 pages. These are people who are just kind of emotionally immature. I'm getting emotionally stunted even next to your growth. Like, you have grown, you have evolved into someone entirely different since the last time that you've seen them. I'm getting, the Hermit speaks of like looking for answers, truth seeking, right? Like, I'm getting that you went and you completed a journey. And the Hermit also talks about doing this kind of stuff alone. Like, you went, you completed a journey, you evolved into an entirely different person. The star at the exact center of this 5-card line, you know what I mean? You became someone entirely different. You went through your transformation with the Death card. Like, you are someone who's operating in an entirely different league as these people now. That's why you have so many options. That's why you've got 7 of Cups options right now. And that's why you don't need every single option to be perfect, even. Like, you didn't need perfection to evolve into who you are now. So you don't need perfection to start your next journey either. You just need the seed. You just need the starting point. You know what I mean? You are operating on an entirely different level as these people. They're operating at page level. They're operating at like an immature level. They still need to grow and transform to match you. And unfortunately, that's never going to happen if they just continue to wallow in their self-pity about you. Notice how he's drinking right there. Like, these people aren't trying to grow. These people aren't trying to evolve. There's nothing wrong with having a good time. There's absolutely nothing wrong with having a good time. But these people are more focused on you and where you're going than they are on themselves and where they're going. And that's part of what has stunted them into this place where they aren't on your level anymore. If they ever were before, they definitely are no longer on your level. 3 of Swords. Yeah, there are people who are actively very heartbroken over you. There are people who are actively very sad over the loss of you from their lives. And there are people who would put people in the ground for the kind of luck they feel that you have to have all of this attention on you. And I'm getting multiple people. There are a lot of people who are so jealous of the attention that you're getting from these specific people. I am getting thespian. Some of you might be very good actors or very good performers. Orators even. There are people who think that you're lucky because of how you perform in front of other people. This might be even something a little bit more practical, as in like you're lucky in the sense that you are capable of keeping a solid, straight face even when things are really breaking behind the scenes. Like you're really good at keeping a professional, calm outer demeanor, even when you're really going through things. You're lucky in your ability to control yourself, and you're lucky in your ability to act in one way or another. Love. And you're lucky in love. This has been a theme for the reading. You're all very attractive. You're all very attractive people. You're all very attractive people physically and in every other way. People are very drawn to you. That's why there are so many people who are still obsessed with your energy. That's why you are still drawing so much attention to you from random people in random situations. A lot of these people and a lot of these situations you left in your past a long time ago too. That's why you've evolved so much. That's why you've changed so much in the time that you've been gone, because it's been a lot of time that you've been separated from these people. It doesn't matter though. These people, even and especially people who have tried to replace you romantically, and even and especially people who have tried to replace you in a workplace setting, those two specific situations, I'm getting, you are irreplaceable. You are someone who is an incredibly hard worker in both your actual like work life and your personal life. You'll put in the effort to being a good partner. You'll put in the effort to being a good employee. You're someone who is absolutely irreplaceable in these situations. And it is very unfortunate because there are people who are realizing that. There are people who are recognizing that. There are people who definitely know their loss now. All right, what more can we know, please, about how you are lucky? I keep seeing the conversation card from the Sibila deck. Yeah, very lucky in performance. You're very lucky in your acting in some way or another, whether that's more practical or whether that's in like an actual thespian on stage sense. You're very lucky in your ability to act. And in your ability to talk to other people. If not necessarily act, then in your ability to like hold a straight face and talk to other people. You're very... Falseness just popped out. You're very good at keeping a civil front. That's so funny. Yeah, you're very good at faking it till you make it. If you are talking to someone who you don't like, if you're talking to someone who you don't have a good history with, you're not someone who can be ruffled. You're capable of keeping merchant. You're capable of keeping a professional face. You're capable of keeping a solid front going. You don't let it show that you dislike that person. You don't let it show that you have personal things going on. You're very good at keeping a professional front. I am getting that you're lucky in business as well. If you are someone who owns your own business or operates your own business, cheerfulness. Expect some kind of success to come in soon. If you are someone who is an entrepreneur, if you're someone who works for yourself, expect some kind of win to come in soon. If that is not the case, just in your work in general, expect some kind of accolade to come in soon. If you work for other people, if you don't work for yourself, expect it to be some kind of accolade. Expect it to be some kind of like reward or confirmation that you have been doing really well and people appreciate your work. All right. What more can we know, please, about how you are lucky? Letter, expect some kind of accolade, expect some kind of reward. If you are self-employed, if you do commissions of any sort, expect some kind of big commission or big step to come in soon for you. Between the letter and the Page of Swords as well, with all of this energy of, I think I mentioned it at some point, there are definitely people who are thinking of the best way to get back involved in your life as well. Definitely people who have been watching you, definitely some of these page energies that have been thinking about, some of these people who have been like actually dreaming about doing something big for you, like trying to do something to show you that they still care about you. And expect some kind of hint as to who and what that is coming in soon, within the next couple weeks. The Messenger. Yeah, all three of these cards lining up together. Expect something coming towards you. And it will be confirmation of the fact that you are, I don't want to say riding high, but that you're in a really solid place in your life right now. Expect confirmation of the fact that there are people who really want back into your life, and that you're killing it in your work aspect, your business aspect, your professional aspect, your career aspect. Expect some kind of confirmation that you are just absolutely nailing it right now. Conversation. I think I mentioned the conversation card while I was shuffling. Yeah, definitely thespian vibes. Like, you're very lucky in your ability to hold a straight face. You're very lucky in your ability to hold a professional demeanor. This is part of why you're going to get that confirmation soon that you are absolutely nailing it professionally. You're very, very good at keeping a civil front. You're very, very good at keeping your work and professional self together. People also look up to you a lot. The conversation card is coming out right over both the Hermit card and the Star card, with the two being stars that are being looked up to, right? With all of these people looking up to her who's speaking. Like, you are very much someone who is you're in high regard right now. People regard you very, very highly right now. People are definitely looking up to you right now. Soon you will be getting confirmation of that fact. Expect a good holiday season. Like, I'm right outside of the holiday season. This reading is timeless, but I'm like weeks away from like Christmas and New Year's. Expect the next couple weeks to be good. Expect good things to come in for you in the next couple weeks. Expect lucky things to happen to you in the next couple weeks. They'll feel very lucky. Trust and believe these are rewards for things that you have been doing. Trust and believe that nothing is ever just luck, right? Nothing is ever just luck. Trust and believe that these are rewards for everything that you've been doing. Trust and believe that you are being rewarded for the work that you've been putting in. But the next couple weeks of your life, expect good things to come rolling in. Expect lucky energy to come rolling in for you. Haughtiness. And don't be afraid to be proud of yourself. Like, this all has been very, very, especially with the Hermit, this all has been very, very humble vibes. Like, people might look up to you a ton, but you are very focused and have been very focused on yourself and what you've been doing, right? So, like, I don't think you notice just how much people look up to you. Don't be afraid to be proud of yourself. Don't be afraid to really, really be proud of how far you've come and everything that you've done in life and everything that you've accomplished, because you've accomplished a lot. You've come through a lot. This is the energy of someone who's gone through a lot and is still going. You've gone through a lot and you've transformed and you're still transforming. You should be proud of how far you've come. You should be proud of yourself. You should be proud of yourself. And this is your message, to be proud of yourself and to be proud of everything that you've done and everything you've accomplished in your lifetime. And we've got the Thief. And the Thief coming in and looking at the peacock like this, it just doubles down on this idea that don't let anyone or anything steal your joy or steal your pride from yourself. I get the sense that there might have been situations in your past where people were not overly supportive of you. There might have been situations in your past where people, if not overly supportive, or if if not, people were not overly supportive of you. People were hypercritical of you and hypercritical of the things that you did and what you produced, right? Like, don't let people steal your ability to be proud of yourself, and don't let people steal the joy that you have in what you do. Especially, I think this is the message that you're getting right now too, because again, you're going to be seeing a lot of rewards coming in the next couple weeks. There's going to be a lot of lucky energy coming towards you in the next couple weeks. Don't let, especially past anxieties, but not current anxieties either. Don't let any kind of anxieties hold you back from feeling proud of yourself. Don't let any kind of history that you may have hold you back from really, really being proud of yourself and really, really taking joy in what's coming towards you. Don't let anything steal that away from you. You deserve it. And we've got the Lover at the bottom of the deck. And capping it off, especially with the Lover right next to the Three of Swords, you are very lucky in the attention that you have. There are people who find you to be very, very, very lucky in the attention that you've been gathering from people. There are a lot of people who are interested in you, and there's no avoiding it. They're interested in you in an incredibly romantic way. They're interested in you in a very, very intimate way. They'd like to get to know you very intimately. For a lot of you, this is part of the messages that you're going to be receiving. Expect notes, expect confirmation that people are interested in you in a very, very romantic way. And these are new people. The Lover in the Sibila deck is someone new. This is a new person. So expect secret admirers to start coming out of the woodworks in the next couple weeks. All right, loves. That is what I've got for you. I hope it was fun. I hope it was entertaining. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I will see you next time. Bye. All right, and finally, last but certainly not least, we are on pile number 4 with the Three of Spades. Every single pile has had different lighting in this video. It's actually absolutely crazy. I am so ready for the sun to stop setting at 4:30 in the afternoon. Oh. All right, guys. Now already what I'm getting is that you are very lucky. It's a very specific message. It's that you come out on top at the end of romantic situations. Basically, your exes miss you. Like, there's no other way to put it. Your exes miss you. If it were a competition, if there was a competition between you and the people who you've been with, the exes in your life miss you. Even if we're talking about really serious friendships, like not necessarily hardcore romantic, but just really, really serious friendships. This is anyone who has been very seriously involved in your life, anyone who you would say that you loved. Like you would refer to, regardless of the type of love, someone who you would say, yes, I loved them. Like the people who are no longer in your life, despite the fact that once upon a time you guys shared love. If it were a competition between the two of you, you come out on top in every comparison. You come out on top. You are living a better life. You are happier, you are healthier, you are, at least to these people's eyes, at least in these people's eyes, because these people are watching you, I can almost guarantee it. It appears to them that you have come out on top. It appears to them that in the game of breakup, you were the lucky one. Yeah, there are definitely people missing you right now. There are definitely people missing you right now. I'm right outside of the holiday season. This reading is timeless, but the energy that's coming through is that like very nostalgic energy. If you have memories of people during the holiday season, during like celebratory seasons, that might be a bit of a hint as to who's thinking about you right now. There are definitely people who are missing you right now, and there are people who you have some very, very serious memories with during holidays and celebrations. All right. right, what more can we know, please, about how you are lucky? You might be someone who's often in the right place at the right time, whatever that means for you, right? Just someone who, like, there are situations in your life that you can look back on and be like, huh, I was just in the right place at the right time when that happened, huh? Like, just genuinely, like, raw lucky situations that you might kind of accidentally stumble in upon. The Empress. Yeah, situations of just like abundance, like just stumbling in on them. If you can see in the background, the prince is running down these steps towards the Empress. She's not turned and she hasn't seen him yet. Like literally stumbling in upon like secret gardens and stuff. Like there's definitely this energy here that part of your luck is this, that you happen to be in the right place at the right time a lot of the time. You happen to know the right people, you happen to be in the right situation. Like it's just very raw, lucky, luck of the draw stuff. Yeah, and the Two of Pentacles. And you're very good at keeping a level head in these situations, to match the fact that you're very good at keeping a very solid work-life balance. Basically, you're very good at keeping a balance in these situations going. The reason why stumbling in on lucky situations, and I'm getting the fact that like some of these situations aren't necessarily fully lucky. They're just situations that you're good at taking and turning into lucky situations, because you are good at keeping a level head in a situation, looking at something and being like, huh, I can make that work for me. Like you're very, very smart. I'm getting the sense that you're clever. Clever comes to mind specifically. Like you're very, very clever. You're good at turning a situation into something that you can use in your favor. You can make work for you, right? And we've got the Five of Pentacles. Yeah, and the Five of Pentacles, the way that he's reaching back towards the little prince right here. Again, this is more of that energy of, there's a sense that you're often just in the right place at the right time a lot of the time. Like you just happen to know the right people. You're definitely someone who people really like. Whether you have, because I'm getting the sense here that you might be someone who, I'm getting strong work energy here. Like you might be someone who a lot of your social life is your work life. Like your personal life is where your introversion comes in, your social life and your work life and your extroversion all tend to go hand in hand together. You might be someone who's difficult to get close to. Despite that fact, you are very, very popular. There are a lot of people in your life who really like you. You're a very, very popular person. And that comes out especially when you need help. Like the way that he is handing the little prince here something while he's working on his plane, the way that he's reaching back towards the little prince so they can get to the water well together. Like you are lucky. If you were to reach your hand out and ask for help, you're lucky in the fact that there are a lot of people who would reach back and try to help you. Like whether you realize that or not, because again, I am getting the sense of someone very independent here. I am getting the sense that you're someone who you do tend to like, you do tend to maybe work alone, or you do tend to maybe operate a little bit more on the loner end. I think you would be kind of surprised that if you were to reach your hand out and ask for help, there are a lot of people who would reach back trying to help you. There are a lot of people who really want into your life. There are a lot of people who really want to know more about you. Secret Garden keeps coming up every time I look at the Empress card here. Like you are coming off as a very private person here, and there are a lot of people who really want into your life. There are a lot of people who really want to know more about you and want to know more about what you've got going on in private. We've got the Moon card. Yeah, you've got a very rich private life. And the Moon card specifically, despite the fact that both the Two of Pentacles and the Five of Pentacles speak of very mundane, they can speak of very mundane hardships, basically, in the material world. You are a very hard worker. What comes across there is the fact that you are a very, very hard worker. You're very practical. You're very good at getting the job done. You're the kind of worker that people want on their team. Very strong team player energy here. Despite the fact that you are very grounded, despite the fact that you are very rational, despite the fact that you are a very hard worker who can be very, very hard to deter from logic even, I'm getting. Like, you can be someone who's very hard to put off towards, like, you deal in logical solutions, basically. You deal in the logical solutions. You're not someone who's looking for, like, fantastical solutions that are never going to work. Like, you deal in logical solutions. Despite that fact, you are still someone who's very, very creative. The moon speaks of a very rich inner life. The moon can speak of very strong mysticism, too. Going back to the Two of Pentacles, again, you have very strong balance. You're very lucky in the fact that you manage to be a very balanced person. And I'm getting balanced in every aspect of your life here. Like, not just balanced in, like, work, personal life, extroversion, introversion, material life, and rationality, inner life, and creativity. Like, you manage to be a very creative, artistic person on top of being a very, very rational, hardworking, grounded, down-to-earth person. And it gives you a very rich inner life. It gives you this very, again, secret garden energy. It gives you this very, very rich, profound inner life and this very rich, profound way of thinking. And you're very, there's the sense that you're very blessed here, very lucky here to be able to cultivate both sides of yourself like that. And we've got the Ace of Pentacles. Yeah, so you have very strong manifestation energy here too. The Three Pentacles and the Empress they're all material signs, even though the Two of Pentacles and the Five of Pentacles can indicate material hardships at times. All of the Pentacle energy here is indicative of the fact that you are a very strong manifester. Part of that very rich inner life, part of that very, very profound creativity that you've got going on, it all comes from the fact that you're a very strong manifester. You're very lucky in your ability to manifest. You're very good at taking your thoughts and making them reality. You might not like whimsical, fantastical ideas that'll never be grounded and will never actually be any sort of solution, but you can take solutions that seem to be fantastical and actually turn them into real, grounded, actual ideas that can be applied to real, actual problems in life. You are a very, very creative problem solver. People definitely want you on their team when they're working. You're a hard team player and a very, very good team worker, and you're someone that people want on their team when they're working. And the Five of Cups. Yeah, and you're someone who's capable of looking on the bright side even when things seem to be going horribly. That's part of the moon energy too. The moon energy can be very heavy. It can be very heavy illusionary energy. You're someone who's really good at seeing past the illusions and seeing past all of the... You're someone who's very good at seeing through to the truth of the matter, basically. The scene that's being depicted here with the little prince is he's physically crying over the fact that he has just found out that his rose was not the only rose in the entire world. He's just found out that technically his rose lied to him because she told him that she was one of a kind in the entire universe, and he has just come upon a rose bush, and all of these roses are in blossom and they all look exactly like his rose, and he's devastated over the fact that he thought he was special, he thought she was special, when really she wasn't. He needs to learn in this situation. This picture is him in the process of learning that actually what makes his rose unique, what makes his rose special, what makes his rose the only rose in the entire universe is the fact that she is his rose. None of these other roses are his. None of these other roses matter to him. None of them have to, because they're not his rose. You're very good at cutting through to the heart of things. You're very good at seeing through to the actual core and center of things. And you're very good at pulling yourself together and standing back up and moving on because of it. The Five of Cups energy matches the Three of Spades energy that was your group pile card as well. The Three of Spades is indicative of Three of Swords energy, right? Like, again, you're very lucky in the fact that you come out on top at the end of these relationships in your life, these really profound, impactful relationships in your life. If there were a game of breakup, you'd come out on top every time, and it's because you learn your lessons. It's because the Five of Cups energy that you have to go through is energy that you do go through. It's energy that you put yourself through so you can come out on the other side better and more educated and more leveled up. You are someone who's not afraid to go looking into the darkness to come out on the other side better and more whole. And you do. You come out evolved on the other side. You come out with the ability to manifest and be realistic and turn your dreams into reality. Your willingness to actually look for answers is part of why you are gifted with this really intense ability to manifest things into reality, because you're willing to put in that extra work to make sure that they manifest into reality, to make sure that there's a pathway for it to become real. And the Six of Wands energy at the bottom of the deck. Yeah, the Six of Wands is all about celebration. The Six of Wands is all about coming out on top. In fact, in this specific storyline, the Two of Pentacles is indicative of the point in the story where the pilot is still fixing his plane. His plane has gone down in the desert. He might die because he's running out of materials. He needs to fix his plane so he can save himself. One thing that he's running out of the most is water. He needs to go find water. Him and the little prince need to go find some kind of water well so they don't die of dehydration. At the end of the story, however, he wins. He fixes his plane. The Six of Wands here is indicative of the part of the story where the pilot gets the plane running again. Like, you are someone who you come out on top of the bad things that happen to you. You're someone who comes out on top of the negative things that go on in your life, very specifically because you're willing to put in the extra work to get the results that you want. You're very lucky in your drive. You're very blessed in your drive. There are definitely people who would do almost anything to get the kind of motivation that you have just naturally running through your veins. And that's how it seems to people anyway. It seems to people that you are just completely undeterrable. It seems to people that you are someone who, when bad things happen to you, you go inward and you come out on the other side with answers somehow. It's not even that it's not even that people thought that there were answers to be learned even. It's just that you took this bad situation that seemed like it was just a bad situation and you turned it on its head into a lesson for yourself. And I always say that I don't believe that people should have to go through bad things to learn lessons. I always say that it's unfair to chalk up every bad thing that's ever happened to someone as some kind of blessing just because they learned a lesson at the end of it. At the end of the day, it's a real skill. It's a real blessing. It's real luck to be able to learn your lessons through bad things happening to you over and over and over again, especially in things that are as serious as life or death situations, like is being depicted in your line here, because it's definitely being depicted that you've been through a lot, like not just minor inconveniences. Like, you've been through stuff that have led to very serious breakdowns in your life where you've had to go looking for very profound truths, and you've come out on top because you've found them. That's part of how you manage to be such a great manifester. That's part of how you manage to be such a great thinker. That's how you manage to be who you are now, because you had to grow into that person. What more can we know, please, about what makes you lucky? What more can we know, please, about how you are lucky? We've got frivolity with the butterfly, and it lines up right over the Empress here. We're just talking about this ability to take things and transform. The frivolity is also the word frivolity is indicative of frivolous, right? Something that is short lasting and not very useful, almost. Like, paired with the butterfly, it's meant to mean something that is inconsequential and ephemeral, something that doesn't last very long. You take these situations again, and this is what I meant earlier when I said that you take situations that for some people would just be bad things happening to them, that they let pass into their past, that they let go of. Basically, you take these things that happen to you, you take these situations that should be inconsequential, you take these situations that shouldn't be as transformative as they are, and you turn them into transformative moments. You go looking for the answers within them, and you come out on the other side with very profound truths to help you move on, to help you move forward, to help you find that success that you are looking for, that you are needing. Like, you are very lucky in the sense that you can take a moment that feels totally worthless and transform it into a garden, transform it into something that is worthwhile, transform it into something that actually leaves you with a lesson. And we've got haughtiness with the peacock. Now, the butterfly, the peacock, and the empress all coming out here, you are very physically attractive. And I'm not just getting physically attractive, I'm getting almost like exotic. There's something very, very unique about your physical appearance. There's something very unique about how you physically present, and it is very, very attractive. There are people who are super jealous about how you look, and that is just straightforward. There are people who are very jealous, who feel that you are so lucky in how you look. There are people who feel like you are so magnetic, they would do anything for whatever special thing you've got going on, because there are definitely people who feel like you've got something very special going on with you. And surprise. And ultimately, you're very lucky because you can pull these situations out of nowhere. Like, these situations that seem inconsequential, the situations that seem inconsequential to the situations that seem like they should devastate you, you're lucky because you pull surprises out of nowhere. Like, you catch people completely off guard with how you fix things. You catch people completely off guard with how your mind works. You catch people completely off guard with the solutions that you come up with. The surprise coming out right over the moon card too. There's something very, very divinely oriented about the solutions and the problem solving that you come up with as well. There are definitely people who feel like you have links to higher powers or something, like if you're openly spiritual. If you're someone who's openly spiritual, if you're someone who's openly mystical, especially if you're someone who believes openly in some kind of higher power, there are definitely people who think that you have a direct line to your higher power. Like, there's something about the way that your brain works. There's something about the way that your thought processing and your problem solving especially works that makes people feel like you have a direct line of communication to your higher power. Like, you are very blessed and lucky in your spiritual sense. There are people who feel like your problem solving can't possibly only come from you. It has to be a gift. It has to be divinely oriented. Like, there are definitely people who feel like you are absolutely blessed and divinely oriented in the way that you problem solve and in the things that you come out with and the things that you say. And we've got the Lover. And the Lover and all of the signs that you are very, very attractive. You're very lucky in love. And I think, you know what? I think I might have mentioned that at the very beginning of your reading too, with the Three of Spades energy. You're really lucky in love. Like, just flat out, you're lucky in your breakups. You're lucky in how you come out on top and on the other end of your breakups. And you're very lucky in the attention that you draw. Like, you're not someone who ever this has been the theme. You're all so attractive. Like, you're very lucky in the attention that you draw. There are definitely people who feel that you are never ever hurting for romantic attention. It is I'm getting almost like hot. Like people find you to be very, very romantically appealing. There are definitely people, if you're single right now, there are definitely people who are actively trying to figure out how to change that. If you are in a relationship, not only is your partner very into you, because this is definitely, if you are in a relationship, your partner wants to have a very serious long-term relationship with you. But if you're in a relationship, there are also people who would like to mess that up. Like you're in very high demand. You're in very, very high demand right now. People feel that you are very, very lucky in love. People feel that you are never hurting for romantic attention at all. And we've got the foe, and the foe looking at the lover like this, and the lover looking up like that. There are people who are super jealous about that. Again, there are specific people. You have secret admirers in your life. Whether they are people who were in your life before who have since been cut out, or these are new people who you are unaware of. Like, you have secret admirers. It could be both for some of you. You have secret admirers in the woodworks, and they are not secret about it in their everyday life. They're very open about their interest in you in their everyday life, and there are people who are hurting over that. There are people who are so upset over the fact that these people are interested in you. There are definitely people who are very jealous of the romantic attention that you are currently receiving. And it's funny because I don't think that you're actually aware of this. I think that this is all stuff that's going on behind the scenes. I think that you will be getting some kind of notification about it soon, though. Expect some kind of confirmation that not only is there a person who's very interested in you, but there's like a third party situation already going on with that as well. For those of you who are already in a relationship, as I was saying, there are people who would love to mess that relationship up for you. Like, there are people who are super jealous of your partner and who really, really want a chance with you, and who frankly think that they could do a lot better for you than your partner. If you're in a relationship, I'm getting almost a sense of like delusion. Like, there are people who like just genuinely believe that they could do so much better for you than the partner that you have right now. And they don't have a whole lot of proof of it other than the fact that like they're just very, very interested in you and they would do anything for a shot with you. There are a lot of people who are really upset about the fact that they didn't get a shot with you beforehand because you were already in a relationship when they met you. In the house. And if that's the case, I think I mentioned this earlier too. There is a sense here of you can be a little bit difficult to know. The house is about people on the outside looking in. There are a lot of people on the outside who are currently looking in on you, who are speculating about the different types. There are people who are curious about you right now, basically. There are a lot of people who are curious about you. And there's a lot of focus on you in especially romantic regards right now. If you are single, but not like super openly single or out looking to change that, then people assume that you're in a relationship. This jealousy that's going on, it's still being angled in an imaginary partner. Like, there are people who are very, very jealous even of the idea of you being in a relationship with someone else. And we've got prison at the bottom of the deck. Yeah, and it's hounding them. This there are people who are trapped, like just trapped at the idea of thinking of you with someone else. You are you're very, very lucky in love. That has been the theme that your reading keeps coming back to. And it's so funny because you are coming off as someone who's super focused on creation right now. Like, I'm getting the sense here there's no indication from you in your part of this reading that you are super focused on romance or super focused on love right now, but there's so much focus of that towards you right now. It is so intense. There are people absolutely trapped over the idea of thinking of you with other people. They are trapped over the idea of thinking of the fact that they could do better for you than the person that you're with. Like, I am right outside of the holiday season. I think I might have mentioned this already. I mentioned this in every pile and every reading, but like I'm outside of the holiday season right now. This reading is timeless, but sometime within the next couple weeks, expect some kind of gift that's going to confirm that you are in the middle of a lot of people's thoughts and sights right now. Like, and I am getting gift. I am getting very specifically gift. Like, for some of you, this will be a message of congratulations of some sort, because the Six of Wands is speaking of a win coming towards you as well. Like, for some of you, this will be some kind of congratulations because you have accomplished something. For others of you, this will be someone who is trying to get back into your life by offering you something. Like, regardless, expect some kind of confirmation coming towards you very soon within the next couple weeks that you are heavily in the sights of a lot of people right now. You are heavily on the minds of a lot of people right now. Um, I would say that if you are feeling very heavy lately, if you've been feeling this energy really strongly, especially with the faux card coming up here, if you've been having trouble sleeping with the faux card coming up right over the moon card, I would cleanse, maybe like a spiritual bath or a smoke cleanse. Cleanse yourself, cleanse your area, especially cleanse where you sleep. I'm getting especially cleanse where you sleep and your front door. I think that could help with the I think that could help with the weight that's been going on or might have been going on lately, because you're definitely on a lot of people's minds right now and you're definitely in a lot of people's thoughts, and I think that energy might be transferring over into you and your life recently. All right, well, I was gonna say y'all and love, and I said y'all instead. All right, loves. Thank you so much for being here with me. I hope it was fun. I hope it was enlightening. I will see you next time. Bye.